Really good, really good. Probably went a little farther than we thought, in terms of innings, even though his pitch count was right. So special performance by Landon.
Was there a specific pitch count that you had going in?
Kind of, we have a range, but he was right inside his range. He had hit that, pitched it the last weekend, so he just didn't get that many innings last weekend against our guys, but he was really good today.
What were you seeing from Ramirez and his start and what he's able to do for 6 innings, just keeping you off balance?
Good. He's a really good. He's been good. He beat us 2 years ago. Good sinker, changeup, slider. Just had us beating that ball on the ground all day. So their shortstop made a lot of plays. Their infielders made a lot of plays and made it tough on us.
He had a pretty low pitch count there, I think, through 5 or 6 innings. You think that was maybe just him hitting the zone, or you think your guys were a little bit eager?
It was early contact on the slider. On the sinker. The guys were just beating in the ground. It looks like it's there, and it's a little bit out of the zone, and you hit a ground ball. And so he got a handful of ground balls there to get him out of some innings.
How do you regroup after today's game to attack the rest of the series?
I still think they'll be excited to play. It's game 2, so but they know they another team came in here and beat them and punched them in the nose, and it's interesting. It's why we play maybe a tougher schedule than most. Is we want to play good teams and we want to test ourselves, and we're going to get a test real quick.
We got to see Stone at the back end today and look really good in the 9th inning. Is that still kind of for you in the back half? Are you kind of trying things out, or is Stone kind of getting the first crack to be that guy kind of thing?
No, we ran Parker actually out there to finish the game. Didn't have his best stuff, and I think maybe we can use him later in the weekend. So when you give your guys and let them get out there and get their feet wet. And Stone's been a little slow coming back, so he's kind of a 1-inning guy. So we'll probably have him Sunday too. So just didn't want to waste a guy without a lead there. So.
You started Skinner in center. I know Jess and he have been coming back and forth most of the offseason. What kind of led to that today, and is that competition still ongoing?
Oh, it's ongoing. That center field, nobody's won the center field job yet. Went with Bray. Bray's are probably our best defender. So I just felt like we knew we were going to play that type of game. We knew with the arms that were in there, so we figured we'd play defense first. And so we'll see what happens tomorrow. You'll probably see some guys over the next couple of weeks play out there.
In the 5th inning, I think y'all started kind of working the pitch count a little bit, laying off the sinker a little bit maybe. Brad worked a good at bat, and Kellum too. Did you feel like things were turning a little bit for the offense there?
I felt the game was going to go like we just saw in terms of one guy was going to get that big hit and then let a team, and then usually that team plays with a little more relaxed aggression, and that's kind of what they did. So I kept thinking we were going to get that hit. One of our guys was going to jump on the ball and put it in the right. Right was about the only place you could hit a ball out today because left field everything was blowing in. But their guy did a good job. Hit a good pitch and kind of let their team loosen up, and ours probably reacted the other way.
I know he had the base running mistake, but Hunter Hines was the only hit of the game, dude. Guys, how do you feel about him as a freshman? Obviously, put him in the starting line.
He's a really good player. Probably got excited on that ball, said he missed. He couldn't find the ball for a minute, thought it was in the corner. So he's a really good player. He'll get a lot of big hits for us.
What you say to Landon when you took him out after the 7th?
He knew he's coming out.
Yeah.
So he was pissed. He gave up the home run. So I don't really talk to him at that point. But he knew he had a good outing.
What do you expect in the matchup tomorrow from their guy?
Their guy's good. It's a big fastball. It's a 95, 96, 97 type of guy. So, we're going to have to grind him out a little bit. We're going to have to be a little bit better than we were today to be ready to hit the fastball. So, it's going to be another game like this, I think. I think you're going to see a dogfight.
And from KC, what have you seen from him that's giving you the confidence to put him in that slot on Saturday?
He was really good in the fall. Probably our best guy in the fall. And then he's probably been one of our, if not our best guy this spring. So he's pitched well. He deserves it. I'm looking forward to seeing him go out there and compete.
Just general comment crowd, a record-setting crowd from opening day.
Our crowd's awesome. I told our guys after the game the biggest disappointment is we don't do things to get our crowd into it. It's just hard to cheer when you don't get guys on base, and they cheer. They're just awesome. It's just and you talk about record-breaking crowd, and it was freezing out there. So for them to come out and be a part, and I'm sure we'll have another big one tomorrow. We'll do our part to get them more in the game with some big hits possibly.
You mentioned the velo you expect tomorrow. Do you almost prefer that after having a guy that can change speeds and throw the sinker as successful as Luis?
Probably. In some ways. That guy today was really good. He was able to do both, but their guy tomorrow may have, be able to do a little bit of that too. I just think he's a little more of a power arm. Today's guy was 92, 94, I think, most of the outing. So it's just that's a pretty hard sinker to catch up to.
Early on, Luke Hancock took a pretty big hit along that first baseline. How do you kind of feel, and were you kind of surprised by how that sequence kind of played out?
It was. It's just a player excited in the moment. I don't think anything was malicious, and just, it's always, you know, sometimes those base runners think they have the right of way and they don't. The defender has the right of way. So their team plays hard, so they'll come out again and play hard tomorrow. But I don't think it was malicious. I just think he thought he had the lane, and he didn't.
Coach, last year you guys started off with some top 10 opponents. This year you bring another top 25 team to start the year. Do you think starting off with some top competition gives you a better idea of where you are as a team as playing not as great of an opponent?
I think some years it does. I mean, it depends on the team. You know, I thought last year's team really gelled in some of those very tough weekends right off the bat. So you know, I'm hoping that's what this one does. I mean, if you think you have a good team, you want to play the best. And we have a lot of new guys that got to get out there and show. And we got some guys who are back from last year. It's their team now. It's their leadership now. And I'm excited to see what they do. It's going to be a pretty intense weekend the rest of the way.
You've coached baseball in a lot colder weather than this, but how little fun is it to hit when it's this cold outside, and how much are you looking forward to it warming up?
I know everybody in our clubhouse is ready for it to warm up, but it actually wasn't. We were out here early this morning. I thought it was going to be a lot worse when the sun came out. It wasn't too bad. I think guys were able to play okay. The wind wasn't crazy on the field, but it'll be nicer to be a little warmer tomorrow.